The Brooklyn Nets, they may have just changed the landscape of the Eastern Conference in the NBA. Out is Steve Nash, and in is Ime Udoka. After a 2-5 start, Brooklyn decided to make the change, and instead of going with the interim coach for the rest of the season, they figured it was early enough to get a brand new guy in there, and they got their guy. But it's not like he's completely new to them. He was an assistant coach with the Nets prior to taking the Celtics job. Now, Udoka, of course, he was suspended, or he was really fired for the scandal he had in Boston. I had a feeling this was going to happen with the first job that opened. I just didn't think it was going to happen so soon. So this is how the Eastern Conference changes. Basically, he comes in to this team that has two top-tier players, and I think he can turn things around. I mean, let's face it, Steve Nash was not a good coach. I don't know if these guys really ever respected him, and the Nets didn't even run like a real offense. They basically just gave Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant the ball and said, go. So I didn't think that Steve Nash was ever going to make it the entire season. He's just not a good coach. He was a great player, and oftentimes great players do not become good coaches. Now, say what you want about the slimy things Udoka did in Boston, but the guy can flat out coach. It took a while to get things going in Boston, but he got them all the way to the championship last year. Now, they were by far and away the best defensive team in the league last year, and I think he can get these guys playing defense at least half as good as Boston, who was a great defensive team. Now, he's certainly going to have his hands full. He's getting the guys to buy into his program, which he didn't even have a training camp with them. So, I mean, it's not going to happen right away for him. The Eastern Conference is just as weak as it was last year, and that's why I think he can take them pretty far. You know, you have Boston, Miami, Milwaukee, and possibly Philly and Cleveland. I'm not buying either of them yet, but they may be, good towards the end of the year. All he has to do is get these guys to buy in what he's selling, and with that talent, they can definitely make a deep playoff run. Now, again, I don't anticipate the Nets hitting the ground running right away. They have a tough couple games here right after he takes the job. I'm looking for them to enter the playoffs as a 4 or 5 seed. However, I think that they're going to go on a run to end the season. Let's check out these last 7 games. And you can see really only Philly and Atlanta are the only teams that can give them a hard time. And who knows what's going to happen towards the end of the year, if these guys will be sitting players for the playoffs or whatnot. So I think that as long as the Nets stay healthy, things can change. They now have a real coach, and I think this changes everything in the Eastern Conference. All right, guys, that's it. I just wanted to get this video out. Again, go ahead and click that like button and also subscribe to this channel. I'm going to have all sorts of cool content coming out very shortly.